We're heading out this morning. What a nice night we had. Get on the trail, and our next stop is Kennedy Meadows North in about 4 days or so. So it's a nice cool morning, and we're just gonna enjoy it for a while. A couple of things I've been thinking about this morning. One is, yesterday morning we split off from the GAMT, from the John Muir Trail that we'd been, had been doing double duty as the John Muir and the PCT for a while. So that ends down in Yosemite Valley. So we are no longer seeing all those hikers going southbound, which is generally the way people hike the John Muir Trail. So that's a little different. And even after it split off, we still saw some people for a little bit because, of course, we were close to Tuolumne and that whole intersection and all that. So there were still people coming on doing day hiking and stuff. But now that's all gone, and there's nobody coming towards us. And then the other thing is, the hiking's really changed, since we got on yesterday. We're a little bit more in this green tunnel, right? Which I kind of like, in the trees and everything, but not entirely. We hiked through a really cool meadow this morning and all that. But the biggest change is, for the past couple weeks now in the Sierra, we've had to plan to get over these passes, and we've had to make sure we were in the right place. And you can't end at the end of the day at the top of a pass, and so if you do too many miles, too few miles, then you kind of set yourself up for being in a bad position the next day. And then, of course, you had a goal of getting over the pass every day, and so you always knew what you were shooting for. Now it's a little different. There are still certainly some passes up here. There's the Dorothy Lake Pass and another pass or two, but they're not going to be like what we've been doing. With the big passes where you have to plan for it like that. So we're just hiking now. We're back to hiking. Just hiking. So, our goals are more like, hey, let's try to do this many miles each day so that we can get to the next town, resupply, or, we only plan, we plan to do this many miles a day, so we only brought this much food, so we need to do that many miles a day. But that's really more what it's about now. So I just made the comment to Tiger Lily a little bit ago. I'm thinking this is more what Oregon hiking is going to be like, or something. We've been able to make quite a lot of miles and go a lot faster today than we have in the recent past in the Sierra, for sure. And I'm sure that's not going to hold up always, but it's a little refreshing to be able to move and get ahead instead of just eking along like we were through most of this year. So let's see what it holds out. We're coming up on McCabe Creek here shortly, which is where we thought we would get our water this morning, our first water, about 8 miles from where we tented. But it's been cool and the hiking hasn't been that bad, and so we haven't needed all our water. So there's another creek after this, just like 0.2 after this, after McCabe, and then there's another one, about maybe 2 miles, and I think we'll wait for that 2 mile one so we don't have to carry any more water than necessary. McCabe Creek. And here's Return Creek. Not sure how we're going to get across this one dry. And here we are at Spiller Creek. We're going to stop here and get just a little bit of water and move on. Well, I stepped in and I stepped on about the third rock over there and slipped into the water, and then did some kind of comedy act, stumbling over jumped onto the grass, and I don't know how I didn't go down slamming the rocks in the water, but I didn't. Yay! All I got was my feet wet a little. Well, this is the very first time, unless you want to count when we got off trail and went up Mount Whitney, the very first time we've been on trail this year and felt raindrops. And there is a chance of rain today. We don't really know what it is. A few days ago it was like 15 to 20% chance. And so we've got our rain gear already. We didn't feel very many drops. Maybe like 3 or 4. And but we did see off in the distance a little bit ago. It was definitely raining off to the probably southwest, kind of. I mean northwest. So we'll see what happens. I know that the sun's been behind the clouds for quite a long time. You know, mostly, and it's been great. And so hopefully the rain will be light if it happens, but we'll take it. Matterhorn Creek. We'll cross it again here in just a few minutes. Okay, we're heading up the next mountain, and I don't know, we're both really tired, and I don't know that there was much chance we were gonna get all the way over the top and head down the other side, but there's probably less of a chance now because we just heard some thunder and got a few more sprinkles. It's probably been an hour and a half since I said that last time about a few sprinkles. So anyway, they're coming down just real lightly, and we certainly don't want to head up the mountain and get exposed with the thunder and lightning. But we're still in the trees and stuff right now, and we haven't heard the thunder again for a few minutes, so we're just heading up. It's about 3/4 of a mile to a tent site, and when we get there, if it looks bad, we'll throw the tent up and jump inside, maybe call it a night, or maybe just wait and get out and hike some more in a little while or something. Or if we get there and it doesn't look bad at all, there's another tent site about another mile up, and so we might go towards that. And hey, if everything clears up, maybe we'll go all the way over the mountain, but I doubt that's gonna happen anytime soon. Well, we've gotten ourselves cleaned up, and it's not quite ready, not quite time to eat yet, so we haven't done that, but just hanging out, and it keeps thundering around different areas and a little misting from the sky, but it hasn't let loose yet, so we're just waiting to see what happens. Well, we're just getting up and around this morning. We got out of the never did really rain last night at all. In fact, it cleared up and everything. And woke up this morning, thought, wow, it's a lot darker out there than it normally is. Must be because we're just sandwiched in between these two mountains here. But no, there's just lots of clouds and some dark clouds too. So we'll see what that has in store for us today. Hopefully it will be not tons of rain, not thunder and lightning, and lots of sun cover. Well, we just went over Benson Pass. Was a nice hard morning climb, and it just started sprinkling. So the clouds had cleared up earlier. In fact, it looks pretty clear right there, doesn't it? They had cleared up for a little bit, but then they kind of came back, and they were pretty much just looking like that everywhere. Now it looks like that, but it started sprinkling. But now maybe, oh, I don't know. I hear some winds. I don't know if I hear Heavy rain coming. Anyway, we'll see. It's kept it nice and cool today so far. Oh, been out about an hour, so. Well, that rain turned into nothing. A few sprinkles. Now we're down here at the bottom walking. Well, not the bottom, but a bottom. We're gonna go down a little bit further and probably get some more sprinkles somewhere along the way. It's just lightly sprinkling on the water out there. I think that was an otter, maybe, that we just saw. But it was something. It was going along and it kind of did a little flip and went down into the water and then resurfaced a few yards later. It's kind of cool. Well, we've been in some dark woods before, but these woods are extra dark. I don't know, the sun's out and bright, but we step down into here and I know the camera kind of brightens it up, but it's like really dark down here. Kind of cool. Okay, so we just climbed, I don't know how much, a lot, and really hot. And actually, right this minute, the sun's partially behind the clouds, but man, it's so hot. And so, anyway, let's sit down here in the shade and get some fresh water. Eat something real quick. Well, we hiked up that mountain, cooking in the sun, and there were a few clouds here and there that blocked the sun out, so, you know, give Mother Nature credit where credit's due, but it was really hot still. The sun was on us a lot. Anyway, so we just stopped for lunch and all of a sudden heard a little bit of thunder. I'd made up some electrolyte drink, you know, to help me replenish and everything in this heat. And then the clouds just rolled in and thunder, and now it's raining a little bit, real lightly. I don't know if you can even see it or hear it, but it's raining, so we'll see what happens if it's gonna let loose. You know, we thought yesterday maybe it was gonna let loose, and it just kind of dissipated and nothing really happened. So I kind of like it to rain a little, but you know, it'll slow us down, of course. And obviously if there's thunder, lightning, then, you know, that might even just stop us depending on if we get very exposed. So, I don't know. We'll just ride the ride out. Oh, coming down a little heavier. Well, the rain, or, you know, the sprinkling lasted for quite a long time, but never even really got us wet, you know, much at all. Wasn't coming down very much, but clouds persist and we continue to hear thunder off in front of us a ways, but it looks, you know, the clouds above us are thin and light and they look a little darker off ahead, so we're continuing on. We've got maybe a little more than 3 miles to where we're hoping to tent, but, you know, keep an eye on the weather, and if it starts to get closer to us and we get out of the woods too much and we're exposed, we might change the plan. Well, I'm starting to see how this works. If I want something to happen, I just say the opposite. and then it immediately happens. So, I just said, oh, it looks like it's clear over top of us and the thunder's off, whatever, in the distance. And I mean, it wasn't 5 minutes after I said that. It probably wasn't 3 minutes after that it started raining heavier than it has so far today. And had a couple of good lightning flashes and some pretty loud thunder. And so we ditched it down there in the trees for, we thought we found a place where we could actually set up a tent if we needed to. So we just sat there for a bit, and it's all moved off that way. Thunder's far away now. It's a lot brighter and clearer above us. So we're continuing on. And now that I say that, it'll probably be the worst thunderstorm in the history of mankind. Kick in about 14 seconds. So I guess what I'm going to say instead is there's definitely going to be a huge, horrendous thunderstorm any minute. So now I'm assuming that won't happen. Hopefully. All right, well, this seems to be working out well. I've been hiking a little longer. Sun's right there. The clouds in the direction we're going look good. They're not bad. Nothing's happening back there. Maybe hard to tell, but it's raining and thundering a lot. And that's coming our way, but super slow. like it might not ever even make it here. So we're good. We got another couple miles or something and we'll be tenting. So wait, I wasn't supposed to say that. Now that means there's going to be a torrential thunderstorm any second. Dang it. All right, so this is me with my fashionable bug net that I never wear because it makes it hard to breathe and see and all that. But when I'm in camp and I'm just sitting and there's nothing going on, it's a lot better than getting eaten alive. So got my rain pants on so the bugs can't get me. Pretty much the only place they can get me are my hands, so that's good. Everything worked out. We still hear thunder in the background. It did start sprinkling again for just a tiny little bit. But anyway, we're down here pretty much on the ground, way down low. We were gonna maybe think about climbing up the next mountain a little ways, but man, we were tired and we did enough miles for one day. So anyway, it's all good. It's still super cloudy, but doesn't really look bad. I don't know what that means. But hopefully the worst of it will avoid us. So just waiting for my water here to filter. It's almost done. And then I'm going to have some dinner. It's in there, hydrating. I don't know if I told you that before, but at lunch, take whatever we have, which is usually like ramen or some kind of dehydrated meal. Throw it in a Ziploc, put some water in it, double bag it, let it hydrate. Now I will open it up and I think I have some little sleeves of chicken. I'll put a sleeve of chicken in there or something and then eat up. It'll be delicious. All right, that's probably it for today. Good night. Okay, so this deer is not shy at all. Like right next to our tent, just came right in. Hey baby, what you doing? You probably smell my food, don't you? Yeah? Alright. See you later. Good morning. We're already up and climbing. It's gonna be a lot of climbing today. More than we've done in a few days, but the good news is it's a little shallower, so we won't be climbing too steep at all, which means it won't be a huge deal. Should be better than the last couple days. Last night went well. Got into camp and it was kept looking like it was going to rain, and but the weather held out until we ate. See those clouds in the background? Impressive, huh? I'll get to that. We set up the tent, ate everything, totally dry weather, climbed in, and boom, it started to rain. But not too heavy, just steady rain. I don't know how long, maybe just even an hour or two. And then it stopped and it was dry all night. Nothing too much, so we heard some thunder and things going on out there, but nothing got too close to us. So anyway, there's no water here for about 5 miles, or no good water that we are aware of, so we're carrying a decent amount of water up here today. Inevitably we'll run across water, and wish we hadn't carried so much, but that's what you gotta do. You can see the clouds over there. Some pretty good clouds in that direction. The other way, not so much. Looks pretty good. So we have heard a little bit of thunder, or maybe just one time this morning. So, you know, there's weather in the area, but nothing very near us. So I'm just hoping it stays nice, and in the heat of the day, the clouds cover up the sun. That's all I care about. Fingers crossed. Well, the bad news is we're hiking towards the storm. The good news is the storm is not above us, and we're going to be over this mountain soon, so we'll be a little lower during the storm and not up and exposed, you know, if we get into it. So as for later today, who knows how that'll work out. All right, well, now we're seeing lightning, lots of thunder. You can probably hear it in the background. And so we just found a little space here that we're gonna hide under in the woods. You know, we're in the trees, so we're good, we're safe. We're gonna probably set up the tent so we can, you know, stay a little bit dry if it really starts to pour. I don't know if you can see, it's raining just a little bit, but anyway, dang it, I thought we'd get over this mountain, but we didn't quite make it. Okay, we're in the tent. The tent's a little wonky because we didn't have much time, and this is not a tent site, so we were putting stakes in like gravel. Trying to hold them down with sticks and whatever, but we're good. And it's hailing a little and raining, and there was a crazy lightning and thunder strike a little bit ago. So anyway, we're gonna be hanging out a while. Hopefully not too long, but could be a long time. All right, we've been in here maybe I don't know, an hour, a little longer than that. Maybe hour and 15, hour and 20, I don't know, something anyway. Whew, got some good hair going there too. Ooh, yeah. And so yeah, there was some crazy lightning and thunder, but the rain's died down. Haven't heard really any thunder even remotely close, or any at all, for maybe 20 some minutes. So we're gonna get it together. This tent is a mess. Look at the outside, is gonna have to be cleaned somehow. But anyway, we're gonna get it together and try to get out and get caught up on some miles. All right, we're made it to the top of our first little mountain today, and yeah, the rain's pretty much totally stopped. So I don't know, I'd be really surprised if we don't see more rain throughout the day, though. We got out of the tent. Well, I managed to take probably a 2-minute nap in there, which is good. But we got out of the tent, got it all taken apart, everything, and it was still drizzling, and then we headed up the mountain, and boy, it was really cold. There was some good winds, and it was really chilly, but we've warmed up a little now, you know, moving and trekking up the mountain. So we're doing all right. Now we're heading down the other side. And like I said, really no precipitation now. Our feet are wet, you know, because of course everything's wet. All the grass and flowers and everything, plants around the trail. So every time you walk through a little narrow area, you get wet. But got our full rain gear on, so other than our feet, we're pretty good. That's probably all for now. Some amazing clouds have lowered down onto some of the mountains up here since we jumped in the tent before. Man, we were in the tent. There was a crack. You could see the flash of light like just right above us. I don't know. It was loud. And we both jumped out of our skin. Just a random little note there. Well, it drizzled for a little bit, but it's mostly stopped, and the clouds are actually starting to melt away all over the place, and the sun's coming out. Unfortunately, right when it's going to get hot. This morning when it was nice and cool, it was pouring and we were socked in, but now that it's going to warm up, I think we're maybe close to 10 or 11 o'clock, and the sun's out, so we're gonna have to peel this rain gear off before we start sweating too bad. I've been seeing these signs all through Yosemite. That's how you know you're still in Yosemite. Right there it said Dorothy Lake 7.2, and right beyond that will be the pass, and that will be the exit. We won't be in Yosemite anymore. This is Falls Creek. We crossed a little while back. We've been following for a couple miles, and we'll be following all the way up this mountain until we get up to Dorothy Lake Pass. So it'll be nice. There'll be water anywhere we want it. This is Dorothy Lake, and it means that we have just a little less than a mile, I think, to Dorothy Lake Pass, which I thought was one of the last passes, you know, big, kind of major passes that we had to do before we're out of the Sierra, but there might be another one or two, I'm not sure. Beautiful lake though. Be a great place to tent, spend the evening. If we weren't trying to get to Kennedy Meadows North by tomorrow so we can resupply. So we'll keep trucking. All right, there's that beautiful lake. And we're up here in the pass. So we're heading through it. Luckily, this was not a hard one, even though we did climb 1,500 plus feet today. I mean, more than that today, but just on this climb, just to get here, it was not very steep. And we are now leaving Yosemite and moving into the Hoover Wilderness. So we no longer need to worry about these rules here. We are now allowed to wash anything we want in the lakes, even with biodegradable soap. Now that we've left Yosemite. Anyway, and there's a beautiful lake on this side too. All right, let's go see what it looks like. Heading down the mountain. Got about maybe 1.5 miles to the water that we're gonna get, and then maybe another 3/4 of a mile from there to get to where we're going to tent. And surprisingly, it's going to get us somewhere around 19 miles for the day. Even though we took an hour and a half off and spent in a tent, we're in a thunderstorm. So, hey, it's all working out. We just hit the 1,000 mile mark on the PCT. Just a couple more and we will be on we'll be at our tent site too. Oh, somebody else put a 1,000 mile mark too. I think I've said this before, but occasionally there are multiple markers out here, you know, because people are measuring different ways, you know. They have a paper map that tells them 1,000 miles is here, or they're using an app that tells them 1,000 miles is there, or whatever. So sometimes, quite often, you'll see one and then you'll see a couple more. Oh, and another one. And another one. You never see this many. I guess people are pretty excited about 1,000 miles, so I get it. Now we have gone at least another couple of miles, and there's another sign for 1,000. All right, dinner's done. All the cleaning up's done. Time to hit the sack.